Hey there, and welcome back to another training module here. In this lesson, I'm going to go over with you first of all, I want to establish what the purpose of this initial invitation and introduction is. So there's actually, in order to help you kind of get this concept solidified, the 4 I's of the initial contact, and those are introduction, impression, interest, and invitation. Okay, those are the 4 I's of this initial contact. Now, keeping in mind the bigger process here is called the client upgrade process, the client flow, where you are determining the client's needs. You are going back and forth, building a relationship, building trust, building connection, all of the elements that are essential to actually closing the sale. And that's what a lot of, my gosh, I'm just realizing my hair. That's what a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners forget. Okay, everyone wants to get paid. And so it's almost like over enthusiastic and over eager. And so we're just like, blah, throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping something sticks. But in reality, there's actually a psychology, okay? There's a psychological process that has to happen before you can close a sale, before you can sign a contract, and that you are developing as you're walking clients through this process, okay? So the 4 I's of that initial contact that you're having, and remember, inside of the client upgrade and the client flow process, at the very, very beginning stages, a prospect is just that. It's just someone that is on your leads list, and hopefully you've read the information and you've at least qualified the lead a little bit, okay? Because these leads are your prospects. Now, in order to turn a prospect into a potential client, there has to be a little bridge. So I want you to think of these as little bridges that are happening between going from a prospect to a potential client. And the bridge that's right there is you're making this initial interaction. Okay, it's the initial interaction. That's what we're going to call it. That's another I. I love it. The initial interaction happens, and in that initial interaction, you're introducing yourself like, hello, this is who I am. This is what I do and how you could hire me and why my services might be beneficial to you. Okay, so you're making an introduction. You're making this is the purpose, by the way, of this initial interaction. And I'm going to change the name of that right now. I was just, I thought to myself, I was like, there's going to be another term for this. And contact was not resonating with me. And I really love the term initial interaction. You know what? I'm just realizing here, you guys. By the way, I'm from Wisconsin. And in the Midwest, we say you guys. If you are a fellow Midwesterner or Wisconsinite, you can appreciate that. And if I just said you guys and I offended you, I am so sorry. I blame my upbringing. Okay. All right. So interaction, that really resonates with me. I like that. And I also just realized why my last module didn't save and nothing was in there. It's because I forgot to click save. Okay. So the initial interaction, okay? So as you're building bridges, that's what I want you to think of doing through the entire client upgrade process is you're building bridges. And the bridges that happen is a very specific process, okay? So in order to get somebody from here, which is a prospect, aka a lead, to a paying client, you have to build that bridge. And that bridge is the initial interaction. Now, in this initial interaction, I don't want you to be too overeager and try to push your proposals, prices, products, and services on your client. Why? Because in this initial interaction, that is not the goal. They have not yet accepted the invitation to talk with you. Okay, so essentially, People who are overeager, and I see this all the time, I will get emails, or Instagram DMs, and they're like, hey, this is what I do. Here's my services. You should hire me, blah. You don't want to go to somebody's house. It's rude if you went to someone's house and tried to kick the door in. Okay? Am I right? Like, that is not what a good guest does. You don't go to someone's front door and like, hiya, and try to kick the door in. You wait for them to open the door and invite you in. If they don't invite you in, I guess you're not getting in. Okay? Don't try to kick their door in. That is the biggest mistake so many people make, is they're way too upfront with everything, their prices, their everything. And then what happens is that contact or prospect makes a predetermined decision about you based on, you don't want to give too much information either. Okay? It's just like when you're going on a date, or when you're putting your information on that dating site. You don't list all of your baggage on that initial site. Am I right? You want to present yourself the best. You want to highlight all of your lovely, lovely features and none of your flaws. Okay? So that is all about the presentation. So the 4 I's of this initial interaction are the introduction. Okay, hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. So even though we're using technology and we are building a business online, we don't want to forget our offline manners. Introduce yourself. Hi, this is what I always picture this as. When you meet someone in person, what do? You say, hello, my name is, this is what I do. What do you do? Okay, you're building that initial relationship. You're making an impression on them. Remember, even if you're brand new, you don't need years and years and years of expertise to be able to start charging, the prices that I have set. The reason for that is because you've established professionalism. You've invested in your skills. You're starting out at a higher level because you've invested in your skills. You've invested in this course. You're starting yourself out on the fast track to success. You have authority because you've positioned yourself at a higher level than other designers who are just, they don't really know what they're doing and they're just kind of fumbling through it. Okay? So you're making a first impression on them. And remember, the 3 P's of pricing a premium offer are positioning, presentation, and perception. Those are the 3 things. Okay? And I'm teaching you and I'm transferring my expertise and I'm transferring my skills onto you to be able to position yourself as a premium offer, even if you are brand new and you've never done this before. That is why a mentor, and when you invest in a teacher, that's why it always pays off, because you garnish and you gain authority from that person's expertise. I'm able to transfer that to you. So the 4 I's of the initial interaction are: you're introducing yourself, you're making an impression, and the impression will help you lay the foundation to price your premium offer. You're testing the waters. You're determining if there is an interest. Okay? That is what the purpose of this initial contact is about, whether it's an Instagram message, whether you're calling a business, whether you're sending an email to the owner, whatever this initial contact is, you are seeing if they have an interest, and if so, are they willing to accept an invitation to talk with you, learn more, receive your price and service packet. Okay? So that is what the purpose of this initial interaction is. It's just simply to build the bridge and get them to open the door. Because then, once they've opened the door as a prospect, then you have the authority and the ability to talk to them to see, what are some of your needs and goals? Tell me a little bit about your business vision. What is your current website performance like? Are you happy with your current website? What are some things you would like to improve, or, about your current website, or, what it could do better? Are you interested in booking a website audit? Okay, a website audit is one of the services that you can offer Okay. And it's one of those things where once you've trained your eye to know what to look for, sometimes doing an initial assessment or an audit, you could include that for free as a service. Okay. That's what you're going to learn about in pricing a premium offer is the difference between straight services and offers. And sometimes when you have an offer, you have to have an opt-in that is irresistible, that's going to make the prospect want to contact you or, whatever. So we'll get into that later on, but essentially you could offer them a free assessment of their current website as well as your recommendations. So that's one of the ways that you can incentivize them to open up an invitation for you to talk to them and make that initial contact. Okay. So those are the 4 eyes of your initial interaction. Now, in the next video, what I'm going to do, and I'll show you where that's at here in the curriculum. So if you are actually now to the point where okay, I've got my list, remember, find 10 and do it again. Okay, so once you gotta do 10. I don't want you to build an endless list. That's not the point. The point is to take action. Okay, so I want you to get in the habit of taking action. So I want you to find your 10 and do it again. It doesn't matter how you're finding them, from warm market referrals, local listings, go Google, using Instagram, or driving for dollars. Whatever your method is, get your list of 10 leads, put them in your Google Drive spreadsheet, because again, you don't need any fancy CRM software right off the bat in order to get started and put, profits in your pocket. You can get that later on. I promise you you can get that later on. So you're going to find 10 and then do it again. So now if you have your list of 10 and you're to the point where you're actually like, okay, I've got my list. I know what the purpose of this is. Okay. So one of the things that I do with my own private coaching, who, not inside of the course, but in my coaching and consulting, is you always got to set the intention. So we're setting the intention for this initial concept. And when you're about to press send on that, I always tell people the same thing that for so many times when I first got started, the same thing that I told myself was, my success does not depend on their yes. And that helped me come from a really powerful, hell yes, confident mindset that helped attract those people into me. And I didn't come off as pushy, and I came off as, being able to allow the client to be open with me, because I wasn't trying to push my agenda or my timeline onto them. Okay. So if you are ready for the next step, you're ready to press send, and you're like, what do I send next? This is the module that you want to go to, which is preparing your proposal packet and what to include. Okay. So that'll be the very next one in there. The KISS method of keeping track of leads, literally, it's just keeping it super simple and using a Google Drive document. So easy. Okay, so now if you're ready, go ahead and move on to the next the next module, preparing your initial interaction packet or whatever, plus what to include. I'm going to change the name of this, but it'll be right next in line. Okay, so I'll see you in the next training. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out in the student support group. And as always, if you are desiring additional one-on-one support, if you have questions that you would like to be able to ask me directly via Messenger, if you go to becomeawebsitedesigner.com/welcome, and this little blue button is still on the page down here, that means that I currently have openings for VIP Messenger support. If the button is not there, I don't have any openings right now, and I will let you know when I do. Okay. So if you're like, I want Messenger support, just send me a message and I'll let you know when the next opening is, if the button isn't here. If you're watching this and it is here, you're all good and you can upgrade, and we will get you added to the list within 12 hours. So okie dokie. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next training module.